Hi, I'm Ben Goodall from the One Up Foundation, and today I will be interviewing instructor Caitlin from College Preparation Station. Caitlin, why should students take the ACT and what opportunities can a student gain from getting a high ACT score?
So important for students to take the ACT if they're considered going to college, just because it affords them so many opportunities. And having a solid ACT score can really help your collegiate future. Maybe it's an acceptance into a more selective school. It could be, getting a spot in a major that might be nationally ranked at a college, or a direct entry into a medical school right out of undergraduate, or even a 3-2 program, which is a dual degree. It might allow a student to have that kind of opportunity and more. And it can also help students gain acceptance into honors colleges if they're looking into that. And the biggest thing that people usually think of is helping students and having an impact on how much money students get when they receive merit scholarships, helping college become more affordable to families and students.
Should students take the ACT or SAT?
It's important for a student to take a diagnostic test, whether that's, or maybe just a practice ACT test and a practice SAT test. All schools in the United States accept both ACT and SAT tests at this point. So, what's more important for a student is which one they perform better on. So, they really want to look at their score on an SAT test versus an ACT test, see which one they feel more comfortable on, and go with that choice.
Should students still take the ACT/SAT test if the colleges that they're considering are test optional?
I would recommend for students to still take the ACT or SAT. The reason being is they can probably still be accepted at the school without a test score. It is an option now. However, for students who are looking for scholarships, merit-based scholarships, they're not going to get the biggest scholarships without an ACT score. At SIUE right now, if you have a 3.0 or above and you haven't taken the ACT or SAT, you will receive 2,000 or 2,500, I believe, a year in scholarships. However, if you have a 3.0 and a at least a 23 on your ACT, you will now receive 4,000 a year. So it really increases how much you get in scholarship money.
How do you prepare students and what skills do they learn in the classes?
Before class even starts, students take a diagnostic test to see what they would score if they took the test, if they actually took an ACT or an SAT test. It's like a starting baseline for them that they can build upon. From that, we learn and identify patterns and question types that students miss, pace issues, and what kind of test taker they are in addition to their strengths and weaknesses. Uh, we can personalize our strategies to the students from that, tailoring them to fit the students' needs and to play on their strengths. Our 5-week course has huge impacts on our students. One of the more apparent effects is an improvement in school. Many students come back to us telling us how the English strategies actually help them write essays for their English class in school, or how the math that they learn and the tips they learn help them improve their math score, just because it's a different way to learn it. There's different teaching methods, so it's easier for students to pick them up. A much more long-term impact is students being prepared for college and their futures. We have some students who come back and study with us over multiple sections, and that's the way it should be. Studying for the ACT and SAT and getting your perfect ACT or SAT score is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a process. Students usually get their best scores going up 8 to 10 points spread out over, I would say, 2 to 4 tests. And usually that doesn't happen all in one. So if you go up 2 to 4 points each test, that's where you can really see that 8 to 10 point overall increase. So it's a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. And those students, I see them mature and I see them grow. And it's so nice to see them, become more resilient, that they're determined, that they have a strong work ethic. And that's something that you can definitely take with you in college, whether you're studying for a midterm or, your final, you're writing your thesis, or even applying to jobs. These are skills that they can use throughout their whole lives.
How do you accommodate students who struggle on standardized tests?
So our diagnostic test is really a critical component with helping those students who struggle with standardized testing, along with having discussions with the family and the student. Uh, Students struggle with tests, and that's okay. Everyone learns differently, everyone works differently, and that's fine because you can solve a problem more than one way. However, when I know that a student has issues, whether it's pace issues, it's nerves, any type of issue, if I know that going into the class, I can utilize the whole 5 weeks preparing them for whatever challenges that they face to make sure that they can reach their goals on that test.
What would you
Okay.
say to students who are deciding whether or not they should take the ACT early?
Do it. Definitely, it's worth it. I know that for some students, whether it is 3 years away, if they're a sophomore, it seems like a long time, but that time goes really quickly. Also, take advantage of the time that you do have. The more time that you have, the more you can work around your schedule. Meaning, if you have band practice, dance, football, baseball, whatever extracurricular activities that you do have, you can take the test around it. The ACT is offered typically 7 times per year. So look at your schedule, check when you have those pockets of time, those 5 weeks or 6 weeks where you can really study for the ACT and use that time to study for it because senior year is already going to be very tough. What you don't want to happen is senior year, you are taking classes, you are applying to colleges, applying for scholarships, and you have the ACT on your back that you have to take too and study for. This is one way to lessen that load on your plate. Okay. One more thing to go with that is for the college athletes, if you take the ACT early, you get the score that you need to be eligible. You can send that score out to coaches so that they know you're eligible to play at school, so you're on their radar. So that's very helpful.
Thank you for watching this interview. If you'd like to find out more about ACT classes and our ACT scholarship, you can visit our apply page on our website.